guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. My name's Heather, Salter-Purves, dark sapphic fantasy and folklore author, and it's Folklore Friday. I want to tell you a spooky story about the Skinless sea demon of Orkney. This is the first one in mermaid series, so we're going to be covering water-based mermaid-esque stories for the month of May. If you've got any that you'd like me to take a deep dive in, let me know down in the comments. Let's dive on in. So here's a bit about mermaids. Most water creatures in folklore are seductive. Mermaids lure you with a song. Selkies bewitch you with their eyes and hide their skins. Even the kelpie, which is going to be covered later this month, has the decency to look beautiful before you meet your demise. The creatures that we're talking about today skipped all of that. No seduction, no illusion, no glamour. Just pure, profound, visceral, cosmic wrongness. Everything twisting. So we're going to travel up to Orkney, which is a chain of islands on the north tip of Scotland, where we're going to call the nastiest demon of all of Scotland's northern isles, and according to Catherine Briggs, the Naeclevine. Yes, it's as bad as it sounds. Possibly. So subscribe if you like knowing about spooky folklore creatures and how they might work in stories I have to tell. So where does it come from? Before we meet the creature itself, I want to talk about where it comes from. And I don't just mean geographically the Orkney. Orkney has a fascinating place in folklore perspective because it sits at cultural crossroads, the islands that are ruled by Norse Vikings for centuries before becoming embroiled with Scotland. And that means the Orkney folklore is incredibly rich, dark, and weaved with Celtic traditions and Scandinavian mythology, based in the water at once, basically swelling and letting something bubble to the surface. The Naeclevine is thought to be exactly that kind of hybrid. There's a folklorist, Ernest Marwick, believed the fusion of Norse water spirits called the Nuck, a shapeshifting river demon of Scandinavian tradition, combined with old Celtic concepts of malevolent water horses. Two terrifying traditions clashing together into one unholy creature by centuries of islands isolation. The name itself from Orkney dialect, Nuckelavee, which in the Walter Thrill Dennison, 19th century folklorist, the main source of almost everything we know about this creature, translated it to Devil of the Sea, and it certainly earned that title. Dennison collected centuries of folklore from Orkney Islanders in the late 1800s, and the Naeclevine appears over and over again as the dark, twisted creature in the corner. Not as the campfire tale, but something people believed in, something lived. There was something genuinely that they were afraid of. In fact, this detail I love almost the most. Islanders were so frightened of it, they never spoke its name itself out loud. And if they did mutter those words, a prayer followed. That level of fear is what we're dealing with. So now, what does it actually look like? From a distance at night, it can be passed for a rider on horseback. The silhouette of a horse, the silhouette of a person on its back. Normal enough in passing. Don't look too close. Because up close, the Naeclevine is a horse rider fused in one single body. Not two creatures, but one. A centaur-like creature, but completely wrong. The rider has no legs. It is grown out of the center, directly the horse's back, spine. The torso only, the arms so long that they drag along the ground in line with the horse's ribs. Its head, the horse's head, is enormous, 3 feet across by all accounts, and it rolls from side to side on its shoulders like it's about to tumble off, barely hanging on by ligaments. The horse itself has a single eye, one giant, burning red eye. The mouth as wide as a whale's, in which it pours constant steam of wreaking toxic vapour. Then there's the detail that makes every single person that hears this story go, absolutely not. It has no skin. The Naeclevine is a flayed creature. The entire thing, the horse body, the human torso, both heads, completely grotesquely skinless, raw red muscle, twitching and exposed in the air, yellow veins visible on the surface, pulsing blood so thick it looks black within its compounds. and the great sinewy white, twisting, contorting with every step, like ropes pulled taut. It is essentially a creature that looks like it has been turned inside out and kept alive by sheer will. The reports and accounts from Auckland farmers. Thomas encountered the Naeclevine on a coastal road late one night. The description was the creature came into full view is generally one of the most viscerally horrible passages in the folklore tale. He said, and I am paraphrasing, the utter wanted the skin added to more terror than anything else it could be. So what does it do other than exist and scare everyone? This is what you're thinking. It's hideous, but certainly a big scary monster that chases people. Look, how bad could they actually be? No. It gets worse. The Naeclevine doesn't just look like it's the walking plague. It is the walking plague. Its breath, that toxic vapour, pours from the gaping mouth of the horse. It can wilt crops, bare touched, the blights grain, littering the fields, poisons the air. There's livestock disease in Auckland mythology called muckasheen, which is a mysterious wasting sickness that killed cattle. And the islanders attribute it directly to the Naeclevine walking the shoreline at night. Droughts, epidemics, failures of crops, dying animals, something terrible that happened in Orkney. And there is absolutely the only reason the Naeclevine is to blame. And here we get historically interesting. The real world events woven in real life events woven between. There was a booming kelp burning industry. Islanders would harvest seaweed and burn it to produce soda ash for glass, soap manufacturing. It was economically viable, but according to the local folklore, burning the kelp enraged the Naeclevine. The smell of burning seaweed off the shore drove it into a fury. The creature would retaliate, killing cattle, blighting everything. They now understand, through historians, that this belief may encoded a real economic warning. Over-harvesting the kelp damaged coastlines. Diseases and famines that followed were blamed on a story of the sea demon. So let's go back to Thomas, because his story in its closest way is the first-hand account. It's a masterclass in the dread. He was walking home late one night along a coastal road of Orkney, the sea on one side and the fresh water of the loch in the other. A beautiful, calm, moonlit night. He did this walk 100 times. Then he saw something moving towards him. At first, he thought it was a person on horseback. The shape was right. And as it got closer, something was off. It was too large. It moved. The proportions didn't make sense, even in the dark. Thomas said a quick prayer. Lord, be about me. Take care of me. There is no evil intended, which is extremely relatable, but also perhaps the most Orkney thing that's been present. And then moonlit caught the Naeclevine on full. Could see it clearly for the first time. He had nowhere to run. The sea on one side, the loch on the other. Only forward toward the thing, or backwards. And the road was long. But the folklore was the piece that saved the life. He knew this thing could stop Naeclevine. The sea demon would be stopped by fresh water. It could not cross running fresh water. It would not come ashore in the rain. Whatever power it draws from the saltwater, fresh water undoes entirely. So back up the road, keeping an eye on the creature, which was now galloping, bellowing its sound. Like a roaring of the sea, the Naeclevine's long arms lunged forward, and Thomas threw himself across the narrow stream. Across the road, he made it, landed on the far bank, and collapsed. The Naeclevine skittered to a halt. On the other side, screeching in rage, unable to follow. It did snatch his bonnet as it leapt, just about. Thomas always kept the stream between himself and the sea forevermore. But now, the Naeclevine isn't unstoppable. That's one of the best parts of folklore. It tells us that beastly creatures exist, but they can be slain. So there's the mother of the sea. She's a benevolent water creature. And if you'd like to know more about our Mutter of the sea, let me know down in the comments. But until next time, let's let love bloom in the dark, and I'll be back with a new video very soon. Bye bye.